I was pretty curious as to what it would sound like to just hold the microphone. So we'll see um, how this goes. But hello, my name is Jezreel. And if this is your first time meeting me, hi. So this video is going to be about birth work, being a doula, um, and everything that goes into that. I woke up this morning thinking about the black maternal health crisis. Like, I literally woke up and my original why. Oh, this is the stand for the microphone. My original why when it comes to being an advocate and being someone who is very familiar with human rights, especially in the birthing room, stems from understanding the history that is this birthing world. This, yes, my love. I will go downstairs in a little bit. You can go. All right. Um, okay. Cut on all the lights, my love. So I took a sacred birth worker mentorship. It was about embodying birth knowledge um, as sacred wisdom. And don't get me wrong, like when you become a doula and you take the courses, like I took a Dona International certified course. I did not get certified. I took a Dona International course on the journey to potentially getting certified, and it just didn't feel in alignment. I just didn't feel like I really understood um, the value of what I was studying to show up as. I didn't understand what it meant to be in that birthing space and to be a black woman and be in the birthing space. There's a lot of knowledge that needs to be known, and you really can't afford to be ignorant. You just can't afford to be ignorant when it comes to birth. Like, you can. However, it's not going to make for an empowering journey. That just is. And I'm not saying everybody's birth isn't sacred. Everybody's birth is sacred because at the end of the day, the mom, regardless of circumstances, still has to go get that new descendant of all of the ancestors that's ever lived. And, you know, some cultures believe in reincarnation. Some cultures believe that the new children are the ancestors or the passed on loved ones. And regardless of how it turns out, that is still sacred because a life is still born. And the thing about life, though, is the spiritual essence that is existing as a soul who comes into this world and the imprint that it has on everybody. Everybody's birth leaves an imprint on them. Whether you're a birth companion, you're imprinted. The mother herself is imprinted. The baby is imprinted. Birth is the first interaction with the mama, the baby, stress, and the real world. The baby finna come out and be in air. The baby's about to come out and be alive. It's gonna claim its breath, and then it has to live every moment after that. And it just matters, I suppose, um, because it does. And when you get into just politics and mm, it's all political, actually. Like, when I get into trying to separate the two or give definition to something else, I realize that birth really is political. Um, The woman's body is political. Claiming the woman's body, claiming authority over oneself is a political act. To choose to be sovereign is a political act. But back to what we're talking about, the Black maternal health crisis. There are definitions out there, but what it really comes down to is statistically, which I'm sure you know, that Black and brown women, BIPOC community is 3 to 4 times more likely to die in the birthing world. And when it comes down to being a birth worker in today's world, we all know it, we're all repeating it, it's all being regurgitated, it's being tossed around every single each way. And because it's a big deal, modern gynecology was built off the backs, the wombs of my ancestors, women who looked like me, women who had this skin, whose blood flowed through this melanation, like, and that's just on the timeline. I get it. No, it's not today. It's not right now. It's all of those women were from the past. And you know, there's a lot in the spiritual community or the shadow work community that talks about being present and letting the past be the past, and how your future isn't in the past, and just all of those things. However, when you get into just consciousness and how time flows, and you realize that time doesn't really exist in the past, present, and future is all right now in my hand, in your hand, in everybody who's listening's hand, and anybody you go talk to's hand. Time does not exist. However, the body remembers everything from way back in time. So, in the birth worker mentorship that I took, the sacred birth worker mentorship, we talked about her story, and I guess just like the witch trials. And when you get into her story, and just being a Black person, being a woman of color, being of that community, it's more than just the witch trials. It's more than just patriarchy. It's the tears, the pain, the blood, everything shed of everyone who's ever looked like me as well. Mm. So, what is the cure to the crisis that exists within Black maternal care? Shadow work, the fuck. um, feelings, being with the truth that is the existence, being with the weight of the truth, and being in community with people who also give a fuck about moving through the energy and not avoiding the energy, trying to go over the energy, trying to go under the energy, go around the energy. Moving through the energy is acknowledging everything for its truth. When a Black woman goes into the birthing room and she is not knowledgeable of all of her rights, she is not knowledgeable of the safety that is there, because it is hyperbolized that the birthing room in a hospital is not a safe place for a woman, or anywhere. Shit, giving birth just is not safe. That's perpetuated, that's instilled into people's minds, and there's like this disconnect or disregard to real statistics, 3 to 4 times more likely to die during childbirth is not a full blown evidence based study. It's a statement. It is a broad statement. And it's real. However, there's just so much more to it. It be feeling like when people say that, like they're blanketing something, like they're claiming something, like they're trying to continue instilling that thought process into people, that fear. And then it's like, well, so what the fuck else is the other options? The other options are to be informed and to be inside of your body, embody existing as the body that you are, embody existing as the human with the soul, embody existing as a human that's going to undergo so many different physical changes without resistance. Do not resist to the changes that are happening into your body, and outsourcing your internal wisdom. Nobody is more wise about the human body that you walk within than yourself. Point blank, period. And that is not the same thing as me saying do not go to the doctor. It's not. They are there to help you with your health plan. You are responsible for your body. The doctors, the healthcare professionals, everybody else is there to be on your team. Now, what is the objective of the team? What do we actually stand for? Because if you stand for nothing, what will you fall for? The Black maternal health crisis. I personally believe that all Black and brown women deserve to lean into their ancestry and all of the women that came before them, and to tap into the ceremony sacredness that is existing within that lineage. Birth is literally a ceremony. We all, culturally, I can't speak for all the countries ever, all of them. I can't. I can speak for America, and I know at least 65% of Americans go out and get a cupcake or a birthday cake to celebrate their birthday. And they invite friends over and they sing the same song. And that is a universal thing. That sounds ceremonial to me. And if it's ceremonial like that, then let's just embody intentionality when it comes to honoring birth as a ceremony that it is. And it's just, what are your cultural practices when it comes into the ceremony? Birth at the hospital is still ceremonial. It just depends on who's the spirit. What's the spirit in the room? What's the God in the room? What's the faith in the room? What does everybody have faith in? When I think of birth as a ceremony and just being with women, the faith that I have is in the mom, is in her internal power, is in her love, is in the baby, is in the life that is being born through this family's love story. I love love. And oxytocin is the love hormone, and it's just everywhere in that birthing room. And to honor a woman, to have faith in a woman, to trust a woman, to be there in presence and hold a woman as she stretches and breaks through layers of herself is an act of love. And yeah, for me personally, when it comes to my own role in just being a black woman who has birthed within the maternal system, maternity system that is so affluent right now in this westernized culture. I had a cesarean birth, and the only person in the room were the anesthesiologist, the surgeon, whoever was learning from the surgery, and my husband. And I birthed really alone, I suppose, when it comes down to femininity and honoring my ancestry as a woman. All of my family were preoccupied with one, living on the other side of the world, well, on the other side of the country, and then two, there had been a really very close death in the family, and it's 11/11. And women should be surrounded by other women when they birth, um, especially the women of their lineage, especially the women who also can breathe into the ancestry because they're also connected to it. They speak the voice and the soul of a shared ancestry. It's powerful and really beautiful. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe my husband and I were the only black people in the room too. And I mean, it doesn't necessarily matter, but it does matter. It really does, because we all share a history, and sharing a history is everywhere and everything, and we're all a part of it, of history. Even all of America's history is intertwined with the UK's history, and everybody's history over there is intertwined with another neighboring country's history. And we don't have to live there in the quote unquote past, but we should acknowledge it for what it is. And yeah, I think that's all I have for today. And I appreciate your ears. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you for following along with this conversation. If you have any commentary, please leave them in the comments. I know sometimes I take notes when people are like speaking, so I can really respond with every profound thought that comes to me. So yeah, leave a comment. So much love, and I believe in you.